Hi, everybody. Happy Monday. It's actually Monday for me right now. I know it's not going to be Monday when you're watching this, but I don't get to say happy Monday anymore because I teach no classes on Monday. So I'm telling you guys happy Monday because it's Monday for me. All right, so we are moving on here and looking at scale drawings. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is go through a couple of definitions. So scale drawings is basically a two-dimensional drawing that is similar to the object it represents. So if you think of like a map or a blueprint, that would be an example of a scale drawing. So obviously, when you're looking at a map of something, it's much smaller than real life. Or if you're building a building, you have a blueprint, which is much smaller than the real actual building. Okay, so on a scale drawing, there is a scale, and a scale is just a ratio that gives the relationship between the drawing's dimensions, okay, and then the actual dimensions. Okay, so for example, 1 inch to 3 feet would be an example of scale. So the first thing we're going to do is determine the scale of a model. So for this first example, it says, suppose the model of a dragonfly has a wing length of 4 centimeters. Okay, the length of the insect's actual wing is 6 centimeters. What's the scale of the model? So you always are going to set this up with the model length to the actual length. Okay, and if they're asking for the scale, they want you to simplify this so that the model length is always 1 and then to something. So all we're going to do here is look at how did we get from 4 to 1, right? We divided by 4. So we're going to divide 6 by 4, and that's going to give us 1.5. So the scale here would be that 1 centimeter, which is the model length, to 1.5 centimeters for the actual length. Okay, so that's all you're doing for scale. So for example, the pillars of a World War II memorial in Washington, D.C. are 17 feet tall. Okay, so this is the actual memorial, right? The scale model of the memorial has pillars that are 5 inches tall. Okay, so this is the model. And they want to know what's the scale. So you always are going to do the model over the actual. Okay, so it's always model over actual. All right, so here we have 5 inches is the model, and the actual is 17 feet. All right, and again, to find the scale, if they're asking for the scale, we always want this to be 1 inch to something. So again, we're going to look at this. 5 inches to get to 1 inch, we divided it by 5. So we're going to do the same thing on the bottom. Okay, so when we do 17 divided by 5, we get 3.4. So we know that 1 inch on the model actually represents 3.4 feet on the actual memorial. Okay, so again, that's what the scale is representing. The model, every 1 inch on the model is 3.4 feet in the actual memorial. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is actually use the scale to find a distance. So here, they're giving you a scale, and it's going to help us find either the actual or the model. So this is a model of a sailboat has a scale of 1 to 20. Okay, so we're going to do 1 over 20. And again, it's always the model over the actual. Okay, so now it says the actual sailboat is 32 feet long. How long is the model? So it's giving us the actual, right? So we're going to put that in the denominator because it's actual in the denominator. Okay, and it says how long is the model? So we're looking for the model here. So now we have a proportion, and what we can do is we can just cross multiply. So we get 20 times x is equal to 32 times 1, which is just 32. So we're going to solve this by dividing by 20. So if we do 32 divided by 20, we end up getting x is equal to 1.6 feet. Okay, so the model is 1.6 feet. So the next example, same sort of thing. So they're giving us the scale. So a roadmap has a scale of 4.5 centimeters is on the model or the map is actually equal to 5 miles in real life. Okay, so this is on the map. So this is the model. This is what it actually is in real life. So now it says that the distance from Tamanon to the entrance, to the entrance to the Pennsylvania Turnpike is 5.5 centimeters. What is the actual distance? So they're giving us on the map here. Okay, so we're looking for the actual distance, which goes on the bottom. So this is what we're looking for. They're giving us the 5.5 centimeters on the top here. So again, we're going to cross multiply. So we're going to do 5 times 5.5. Okay, which is 27.5, is equal to 4.5 times x. Okay. So if we want to figure out what x is, we're just going to divide by 4.5 on both sides. Okay, and that is going to give me about 6.1. So x is equal to 6.1, and I'm going to use these the miles here since it's on the bottom. All right, so continuing on here, again, we're doing the same sort of setup. So a model of a park has a scale of 1 to 4. So 1 to 4. And again, it's model over the actual. Okay, so the model's length is 2 feet. So again, I'm going to put the model's length on the top here. And it says find the actual length of the swing set. So we're finding the actual length, which goes on the bottom. So we can cross multiply, or if you remember, sometimes when we solve proportions, we say, okay, 1 times 2 gives us 2. So I could then do 4 times 2, which would give me 8 feet on the bottom. Okay, and you can choose whatever way you want to. So if you would like to cross multiply still and do, x is equal to 4 times 2, which is 8, that's going to give you obviously the same answer there. Okay, but if you see that connection, you can do it, that way as well. All right, and last one here. So same setup. A scale drawing has a piano that has a scale of 1 centimeter to 15 inches. Okay, so in the model, let's see, every 1 centimeter is equal to 15 inches. So it says the actual piano is 57 inches long. So I'm going to put the actual on the bottom. What is the length on the model or the scale drawing? Okay, so here, 50 or 15, I don't see how many times it goes into 57 easily, so I'm going to cross multiply. Okay, so I would get 15x is equal to 57, and then I would just solve by dividing by 15. So I would do 57 divided by 15 on my calculator to get x is equal to 3.8. And we want to use the same units that are on the top, so 3.8 centimeters. Okay, so you can see we did the same setup for all 4 of these examples. Okay, the only thing that's different is when they ask you to find the actual scale, and you just have to simplify it to get a 1 in the numerator. Okay, everything else, we used the same setup. We set up a proportion and we solved it. So make sure if you have any questions, you kind of note those that you can ask during the live Teams session.